It's me again. My last video I talked about, or showed off my grenade launcher. This video I felt like maybe I should showcase the grenades a bit. I'm going to start out talking about the grenade launcher though, because I did pull it off the paintball gun so you can see this. I just want to re-emphasize that these are pretty much universal. No matter where you get them, how much you pay for them, what the brand says on the side. If they're short, if they fold out the side, if they got a pistol grip, doesn't matter really. They all work the exact same way, and the reason is because there's a whole bunch of companies that make grenades out there, so they all work the same way as well, so that you don't have to be spending all your money on a certain brand that probably is going to go out of business one day, and you'll be stuck with a grenade launcher that doesn't work. So they're all universal. They all work the same way, no matter how much you spend. So don't go shopping around for the most expensive model thinking it's going to be the best. Really, this is what drives this whole system. These are what count. Really what you'll see here is not a spring fire system. You can actually see it's just a little button comes out as you pull the trigger. It's a simple lever mechanism, and that's how most of these are activated. So it's not an impact system, so you don't have to hit them hard, but yeah, pretty much all of them work that way, so you don't need to go and look for certain kinds of grenade launchers to work. So these are the 40mm grenade launchers, and that's the important thing. You do have to see that it is a 40mm grenade. But these are the 40mm grenades from a company called S Thunder, and they're called the Shocker grenades. And they're called Shockers because they're really loud, and they are really loud. When they blow up, the whole field can feel them. So the one thing that really drew me to these is pretty much the first thing you see, and that is the colors. I mean, look at these. This just absolutely beautiful blue, beautiful red and gold. And what's even better is you can actually take them apart, unscrewing that, and switch the colors around if you want. All three of these are three separate pieces. I'm not going to take this apart because we'll get into that later. And then, of course, the caps. I mean, that's the best thing about it, is they stand out, they have that sense of originality and uniqueness that I don't see in any of the other grenades. And any of the other grenades, they're pretty much all gold like this, and that's about it, or black, or, they're not colorful and stylish. And actually, if I had to say one bad thing about the colors of these is that you really don't want to drop them. I mean, that's the thing, is my OCD kicks in, and I think of how beautiful and stunning this thing is, and then it hits the ground on the gravel, and I'm like, I want to cry because it might have gotten scratched or damaged, which is why I bought the dump pouch to drop them in. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the downside. Even the internals, and you can't really see it too well in here because it's probably just black on the screen, but even the internals are a brilliant pink, and to me that's it's really cool. They're called the S Thunder grenades for their loudness, and they do make a couple other style grenades. They are the Shocker grenades for their loudness. Sorry, S Thunder, the brand, makes several grenades. They actually make a longer one, which will hold more paintballs and more gas, so it'll hit harder, but it's harder to lug around because it's possibly an inch or two longer. I would like to find some of those. I can't seem to find any of those right now anywhere online. So I'd really want one of those, but I can't find it. And then they also make a short one, probably shoots about 1 or 2 paintballs. I don't really know the reason for that, but they, if you're going to make a long one, you're going to make a short one. And they also make their foam ball launcher, and that's more for airsoft players, and it shoots a little ping-pong-sized foam ball. But these are what I need because I'm a paintballer, and I do the Milsim style of play, so I wanted something that looks like a real 40mm grenade. And especially for paintball, you see that it has the .68-inch bore, or caliber, whatever it is, bore for the .68 paintball size. But I did say in my other video, you literally can put anything in here, and that's one of the best things about it, honestly, is because it is so versatile that you can really pick and choose. If new technology comes out, you can, if they make smaller paintballs, you can put more in there. If you make, you can get those, I forget what they're called, but the Tiberius paintballs where they have a bullet shape. You can put a couple of those in there and get some serious accuracy. out of them. Anything that'll fit in there you can fire, and all you need is these little red caps. And this is both a really cool feature and a troublesome feature. The cool feature about it, of course, is that it helps you just put anything in there, and they're really soft, really soft. I've been shot with this thing a couple of times. It's not going to hurt you. And they're bright red, so you can see them on the ground and pick them up again at the end of battle. Not to mention it gives your bullet look really cool, you know. The downside, of course, of these is that you have to have an inventory of them. You have to have some. If you ever get to the point where you run out, can't fully use the grenade. Although the company did tell me a good option on that is actually taking some masking tape and putting it over the top, which is, you know, I can see that as being quite practical. But I would much rather have these. So I have to buy these in bulk. But they're only like, you can get about 100 of these for $15. So it's not that bad right now. You should just stock up, and I've got about 20 in my gear right now. So with that, these things start off firing with green gas. You can see the little connector just like an airsoft gun, and you just take a canister like so and fill it up, and the valve becomes, you know, tough, so you know that it's full of gas. And with that, they'll fire pretty hard. It's not that bad. The thing is that, and both these are upgraded. I said that they had pink internals. They actually start with black internals, and you can buy what they call a CO2 adapter, and it actually screws onto a typical paintball CO2 tank, and you can fill them up with that, but you need a different valve, and that's that hot pink valve that I was talking about. They're not that hard to disassemble because they just unscrew, but I will give fair warning to anybody that picks one of these up and starts to disassemble it. Be very careful because there's 4 little ball bearings on the inside that help the valve move up and down. They're also what lock the valve in place, because what happens is this button is shaped like an eye. It's wide, narrow, and wide again, and the widest part at the top is pushing these ball bearings out the side, which are locked into a groove so that the valve can't open. But when you push it up, it pushes the trigger into the pushes the ball bearings into the narrow part of this button, and allowing them to come in, and then the valve is now freed to move, and it slides back and releases all the air. Pretty complicated, but it's at the same time really simple. But when you're disassembling it, it's really hard to keep those bearings in place. They're free flowing; they'll just fall right out, and they'll bounce all over the place. So if you're taking one of these apart, make sure you're taking it apart like inside a Tupperware container or on a mat that's magnetic or something. Anything to just make sure that you don't lose those balls, because I've lost them so many times and luckily have found them. But I do recommend upgrading to the CO2 valve, and most companies that you buy from will go ahead and give that to you. But I recommend it because, A, you can use the green gas like I do, and still go and use CO2 later if you want to buy the $40 valve. I want that valve too, but unfortunately I just can't get away with spending $40 on it right now, but I would really like it, and I would like to see how it works, and that's much more convenient because it's not very easy to come up with green gas all the time, and this tank's almost empty as well. So as you saw, I filled this one up, and the nice thing about them too is that since it's an easy button press system, you don't need to actually have the grenade launcher. I'm going to just go ahead and blow this one out. Good Lord, that's loud. Anyways, and so once the valve has popped, it is slidden back into what would be the shell. The grenade is reusable, but you do need to, you can see that the pin has like sunken in, and what that is it's sort of it's locked in there because the valve is sitting on it, but you also it also sort of tells you, hey, this grenade's been fired, it's not going to fire again. So before you reload it, you have to actually take something, and I just got this little screwdriver handy, and you have to push it in so that you push the valve back forward and back into place, and then once it's in place, the pin will pop back out again, and it'll be flush with the back of the grenade. One of the things I like about this grenade is that, with the caps and everything like that, you can just put anything in there. And what also is nice is that you don't have to slowly work everything in. You'll see a lot of grenades will have like a salt shaker pattern with several holes on it with certain sizes, and you got to really feed each one of those. And even with some of them, you have to buy two kinds of paintballs. You have to buy the normal ones that you shove in there, and then you have to buy ones that are slightly bigger to work as caps on the top. So those are just really, it's really a pain to load those all the time. These, you know, you could be on the field with a couple of caps and just pour in new balls, put some more gas in, and pop them in there. So, I mean, that's really it. I mean, these things are really great. They're a little heavy, but so is this. And you see when they fit in there, everything has got to be 40 millimeters. This thing will actually sit just on the top, sitting out a little bit, and that was actually a big issue for me. When I first got the grenade launcher, and I got my first S Thunder grenade, it was a red one like this, I put it in the grenade launcher and it didn't do anything. I kept pulling the trigger, nothing happened. I filled it with gas, I overfilled it with gas, and nothing happened. The grenades would go off if I pushed them, but they wouldn't go off inside the grenade launcher, and I wondered what was going on. I kept taking this apart again, losing the little balls everywhere. Kept oiling it up, and finally I pulled it apart one time, and the O-rings had pretty much melted, and I was like, what happened? So I talked to the company, and the company, S Thunder, was really helpful, really nice, and they sent me, well, no, they didn't. The company I bought it from sent me a new one, but they, you know, I sat there and I looked at it and I was trying to figure out what was going on, and I finally got to see another grenade launcher from this airsoft company, and they had these little metal clips right here, but I came back and looked at this one that I had, and it didn't have these clips, and I couldn't figure out why. And these little metal clips are what hold the grenade launcher, or the grenade, sorry, sitting a little bit out of the tube, and they push the grenade against that pin that fires, and if you don't have these clips, then the grenade sits too far in there and the little pin comes out but doesn't push the valve all the way. Well, I don't know why I didn't have those clips, but I called the company and they were like, oh, we're so sorry, and they sent me those clips. Like, they were supposed to be there, but somehow they didn't send them to me, and I'm not the first person that had that problem. But once I had those in, and I took my new grenade and put it in there, worked perfectly, 100%, just every time. The only problems I ever had was, you know, if I didn't put enough green gas in there, it'd kind of go out the back. But really, yeah, really after that, it was totally reliable and easy to use, and made me pretty happy. So if you do have one of these and you're having trouble, check for those little clips. But like I said, I mean, that's why I like the S Thunder grenades. I would really like to find some of the longer ones. They're really hard to find. You can find these as low as $40. I've seen them average about $60 to $80. Again, that depends on if they're easy to find or not. Right now, I see them kind of expensive, but you know, when I got them, they were $40. I was really happy at that price because everything else was like at least $80. And I would like to get more. It's just, like I said, I can't find any right now. They're hard to find online. I do know there's a place near me that sells them, but they're like $75, and I'd much rather find them cheaper online somewhere. I would really like to get the CO2 valve and really see how that works. See if that's going to be a lot more. It's going to be a lot more powerful, but see how much more powerful. And I would like to buy some more caps. And out of all the S Thunder stuff, I mean, this stuff's just beautiful. It works great, and it's a lot of fun. My biggest complaint is finding them. It's so. Lately, I've been trying to. I want to try all the other different styles, but they're so hard to find. Outside of that, if you can find them, I strongly recommend this brand over anybody. And just because they're so much easier to use and easy to understand, and like I said, if you take it apart, make sure you have something to capture them, and of course use green gas to try them out, but really you should spring for that CO2 valve and go that route. So let's just one more time for the fun of it. Woo! Whew. Sorry, dogs.